Alexandria Sarah, and this is Lawyer Talk Thursday. You haven't experienced an LTT rant in a while, but you're in for a treat. Today we're talking about masks. What's your right as an individual, and what's your right as a business owner to kick people out who don't want to wear a mask? So masks, they're the law of the land all across the United States, and we've seen some craziness in the news lately. In California, we've got people spitting on things in Target, so the Target has to shut down to deep clean. We've got a Karen berating Starbucks employees because her mask gives her mask acne. And even here in El Paso, we have grown-ups committing assault by throwing donuts, all because they were asked to wear a mask. Any idea how many crimes that couple committed? 3. It's insanity. So my job today is to keep you out of jail, keep you from getting fined, and keep you from acting like an idiot. So I love my quiz questions because I get a little insight into what my followers think about the topic. So right now, I'm going to cover the 4 biggest and most ridiculous excuses for not wearing a mask and rant on. So the first is a personal favorite, that I might get carbon dioxide poisoning by wearing a mask. Karen, have you ever had surgery? Those doctors wear masks for 6 to 12 hours or more, and none of them are dead. Okay, so myth busted. Number 2 is, well, you are wearing your mask, so I don't have to wear mine. That's like saying, I drive sober, so I don't have to worry about all these idiots on the road driving drunk. Listen, this mask that I wear protects you, and your mask protects me. That's how this works. So, myth busted. Now, the third is my actual personal favorite, is wearing a mask is unconstitutional. And about a quarter of you in my quiz questions agreed that wearing a mask is unconstitutional. I don't have time to give you a primer on constitutional law, but the answer is no, it's not unconstitutional. Because a law that is neutral and applied to everybody in the same manner and rationally related to a public health objective, which none of us can argue with, is not unconstitutional. So I'm tired of hearing that wearing masks infringes on some right that may or may not be in the Constitution, right? Insert that here, because it's not accurate. Wearing a mask is not unconstitutional, so stop using that excuse. And finally, mainly from the men, I kid you not, my body, my choice. Well, I guess next time that I want to pass a law on the women's right to choose, I'll have your vote. So, as an individual, what is my liability if I'm not wearing a mask? So first time you get a warning, you gotta fix it, okay? Now a face covering means nose and mouth. All those super cool face shields, they don't count because they don't protect like a mask or other face covering does. So if you see somebody just wearing a super cool face covering, not enough. It can be a bandana, it can be something else, but it has to cover the nose and the mouth. Those face shields, not enough. Now, if you're warned once, the next time is going to be a $250 fine. Can you go to jail for not wearing a mask? No, you can't go to jail for not wearing a mask. But there is a little trick that businesses can play on you, and I'll talk about that in a second, okay? But each time you're caught not wearing a mask, it's $250, $250, $250. 100 years ago, in 1918, 1919, they did the same thing. In the influenza pandemic, they required people to wear masks. They even had in Tucson, Arizona, an influenza court where people had to go in and give their excuses for not paying a $10 fine for refusing to wear a mask. This stuff isn't new. The Constitution and the Supreme Court say states are in charge of the safety and health of individuals. So, bottom line, wear your damn mask. So you're a private business. What are your rights to require a mask? Well, first, under Texas law or directive at the moment, you have to require masks of your patrons or you're gonna get fined. Second, as a private business, you have the leeway to operate your business in any way that you see fit as long as you're not discriminating against people. Now, what happens if somebody comes in claiming they can't wear a mask for medical reasons or disability? Under the law, your obligation is to make a reasonable accommodation. Do not waive your mask policy for these individuals. A reasonable accommodation can come in many forms. For example, if you don't offer curbside pickup or delivery to normal customers, maybe offer that to that individual, or even a personal shopper or someone else going in and buying the products that they need. All you're obligated to do is make reasonable accommodations for these individuals. So stand your ground and don't back off, because these policies are put in place for a reason. Now, what happens if you have a customer that's not claiming a disability or medical condition that refuses to leave or refuses to wear a mask? Now, they can't go to jail for not wearing a mask as an individual, but guess what? You warn them that they're kicked off the premises. You warn them that they're not welcome because they are violating a directive, and they don't leave. Call the police, because that's the definition of a criminal trespass. So beware, if you stay on the premises of a business that has kicked you out, they have the absolute authority to call the police, and you may be cited for criminal trespass with a Class B misdemeanor, and you may be carted off to jail. So these are serious directives. Don't be crazy, don't be an idiot, don't get fined. We can all operate within the confines of this directive, kick COVID, and get back to normal. So that's all for LTT today.